everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cherry, like the fruit, and I'm here to talk to you about libraries. Now, today's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to give you an audiobook suggestion. Let's get to it. So recently, I listened to an audiobook that blew me away. I became kind of into audiobooks in the past year and a half when I started really using my library card. And I have to say, if you're into fiction like I am, the reader can make or break that book. I've noticed that with nonfiction, in many cases, the author reads the book, which is great because they're passionate about it. I listened to the Michelle Obama autobiography with my library card. Thank you very much. And it was phenomenal. No wonder she won a Grammy. So with nonfiction, however, the reader has to act out all of the characters, and this is very important. So if you're not into the reader's voice, or if you're not into their interpretation of the characters, you can be very easily turned off by that audiobook, and it has happened to me. This audiobook in particular was the first one that I discovered where, in my opinion, the reader was spot on. I mean, this woman was made to be this character. The way she interpreted this character, her delivery, her cadence, her interpretation of this character, to me, was beyond perfect. And her interpretation of all the characters in the book. There were different accents from different regions. This book predominantly takes place in New York City, so you could imagine there was some Brooklyn, I believe some Bronx, and there were some characters that had come over from England, so she had to do English accents. I'm not a linguist. I have no trained ear for accents, so I cannot tell you if it was perfect. But as someone who grew up in New Jersey and has spent plenty of time in the city and meeting people from New York, I've heard a lot of accents, and I gotta say, I think she did a very, very good job interpreting these characters. So it's a combination of the reader that they, I guess they probably audition and cast for the book, but it also has to do with the author. Wow, I didn't even tell you guys the author or the name of the book. All right, back up for a second. The author's name is Elizabeth Gilbert, and she is a New York Times bestselling author. The book is titled City of Girls, and the reader is Blair Brown. Okay, now we can get back on track. So, City of Girls. Let me backtrack for a second. This particular book was suggested to me by the library for a while. Now, my library card gets me access to an app called Libby. And to my knowledge, it's really only used by libraries. Take a look at your library card, take a look at your library's website, and see if the Libby app is something that you're eligible for. I do like the app. You can set your preferences based off your preferences and also based off your reading history, essentially, with audiobooks and ebooks. It will give you suggestions. This particular book was suggested to me for several months, and I will say, no offense to the author by any means, the title just didn't do it for me. I just kind of made this horrible assumption that it would involve, a drug ring or prostitution or something really grimy. So I was like, let me put it off to the side for a while. Eventually came time that I was looking for another audiobook. It was available. It popped up on my suggestions, and I said to myself, I've seen this title so many times in my suggestions. I have to give it a try. And wow, I am quite annoyed with myself for waiting so long to give this book a try. This audiobook, in my opinion, is almost perfection. The reader and the writing came together. Wow, lovely. I don't want to tell you too much about it, of course. I will say that it's predominantly a sort of coming of age story, and then towards the end develops into a very beautiful love story. Yeah, I can say that without giving too much away. It developed into a very beautiful love story to the point where I actually teared up at the end, and books don't usually do that to me. I love books, love characters, I get fully involved, but they don't usually make me cry. This one definitely brought a tear to my eye because the love story portrayed here was very unique and quite unorthodox, but pure. It was the purest form of like unconditional, untainted love you could ever experience. it struck me, as I hope it will strike you. Another, tidbit that I love very, very much about this book was the main character, of course. The main character was very self-reflective. I mean, like I said, it's a coming of age story. She makes some dumb mistakes and all that stuff. But she grows up, she matures, she becomes self-reflective, which I appreciate. Not only that, but she learns to look inside, identify who she is as a person, accept that, and then not apologize for who she is, and almost dares anyone to pass judgment on her for who she is. Man, the strength, the strength of character that it takes to be that way. I was floored and inspired to look within, realize who I am, accept who I am, and not apologize for who I am. One last thing I will say about this book that makes it totally unique: the entire book is essentially a letter. In the beginning, someone writes the main character a letter some years previously, and the main character finally decides to reply. So the entire book is written from the main character's letter. If I got a letter like this in the mail, which is essentially a book, and I believe it was about 14 hours of listening, I might be really excited, but also like really terrified. What is this all about? Very unique take on a story. Wonderful book, highly recommended. Get your library card, see if you can get it as an audiobook. If it's not available as an audiobook, that's totally fine. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this suggestion. I hope you have a chance to listen to this audiobook. I was truly blown away. I was blown away by the acting, essentially, of the reader and her ability to take on these different characters: males, females, different ages, different races, different ethnicities, grew up in different parts of the city. Man, she did an amazing job. And to the author as well, kudos to Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of City of Girls, and big kudos to the reader, Blair Brown. Well, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my content, please subscribe below. Turn on notifications. That's something I'm supposed to ask. And feel free to share this on any social media platform that you enjoy. You can find my Instagram information down below, as well as my Twitter information in the descriptions. And thanks again, and I'll see you guys soon.